What's up, guys? So welcome to how to do a windshield. We're going to be using this material right here. If you are a beginner and advanced, besides the button technique, you're going to want to invest into these. So this one is the one I found on Amazon. It works, but it's not as thick as the one they sell in the actual tint industry, but this one is working. So what we're going to do, you just line up the tape across the perimeter. And if you want to stick a light, you can, but the benefit of this is you don't really need a light. Saves you a lot of time. Not a whole lot of time, but you get a much cleaner install. The reason that I stopped, guys, because I want to see how I'm gonna do the cutout and if I can take this mirror off. If I can't take the mirror off, then we could just go here across and up, but I like to get the full windshield. Okay, so basically there's this little tool here and we can push and pull. A guy in our course, in our Facebook group, just broke a windshield on a Ford windshield. So you got to be careful. You got to know what windshields to do and not do. The easiest ones are the ones with little screws, but this one, it's pretty hard to tug on, so I don't want to just pull on it. So there's probably some sort of release right here. So usually when you stick this in here, it kind of releases, but it's like, I don't know if it's worth the risk, guys. Okay, so in my opinion, I could get this out. Don't get me wrong, I could if I pull hard enough. But if I break this windshield, it's about a $300 to $400 mistake. Awkward conversation. So I'm going to just cut cleanly around the edge. And if the customer asks why, we'll say it was too hard to pull out and they've broken in the past, so we can't remove it. That's my personal opinion. Could we take it out? Yes. Should I take it out? I don't think so. And plus, you know, you don't notice with this. So let me go ahead and cut around it. And this also works for back windshields, guys. I'll link the product in the description. You can buy it on Amazon. And eventually you'll get a plotter. You don't have to do this, but I have a plotter and everything, guys, and this window isn't on my software, so we have to use this method. And all right, so now let's lay down the film and start shrinking. All right, guys, now that we have the film reverse rolled, we're going to lay down our center line. Grab the film, position it, and let go. We have too much film, but it's okay. Yeah, definitely way too much. I overcut for sure. All right, so now you can still clearly see the outline. You still need to make sure your blade is sharp and you're not stabbing into the vinyl, but try to cut as close to that center line as possible. Here, I'm going to leave that middle section because I still need to shrink it. See how my blade is angled low? By that, I mean it's not stabbing in like that. Find a comfortable angle, don't just cut blindly. Use both hands. Okay, now these do get in the way when you're shrinking, so now that we're done shrinking, or now that we're done cutting it, let's go ahead. I like to take it off. You can leave it on if you want, but I feel like it makes it a little bit harder. Let's at least take it off to about right here. Stuff will save you hundreds and thousands of dollars. We've made mistakes that wish we would have known about this back then. Now we're moving on to the shrinking section. Now, step number 1 before you start shrinking, and all the time, this is always done wrong. Okay, lift the film up, pull the film, okay, and bring it into sections. And I'll get my Sharpie to demonstrate this as well. Up, pull, flat. If there's any tension here, you need to get it out. All right? Okay, step number 2, do not touch the water. Okay, avoid the water. And we're gonna break this into 4 sections. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and the way we're gonna shrink, it's gonna be sideways, down. We're gonna go evenly. We do not push all the way down. If I heat this area, I only push this area, and then I move to the next section. So think of it like little radiuses. Just shrink these little radiuses, and then come back. This is probably the most annoying part of teaching and in-person tint school. Like, they focus so much on one section, and they burn and mess up a lot of sections. Heat gun is really hot, guys, so you got to be careful with it. Okay, also, we don't want sharp fingers, so don't push these down. I want the fluff. I want it to be relaxed. So, see that nice relaxed look? That's what we want. All right. Now, we shrink. See how the heat gun's still warming up? So, same thing, heat, and then let me show you, I heated just that section, so just push that section out. I heated just that section. See how I keep the heat moving? 1, 2, 3. As a beginner, you can go 1, 2, 3. Pull the heat away. 1, 2, 3. And just keep that same step. Number 2, we never shrink sideways, guys. Ever. So I do shrink the side, but I push downwards. And you see how my hands kind of like karate chop? Heat and push. Heat and push. Heat and push. Okay, do the same thing to the top. And to make it a little bit easier on you guys, what you can do as well. So I'm more advanced, so I can use just the line in the middle. But when you're a beginner, you're gonna use this little scribe pad. Put it on the edge, just right on the edge of the film. So the very edge is touching. Holds it in place. But look, see this tension here? I almost skip past that. Pull it, slide it out. Never have tension on these endpoints. So over here, for example, you see how it's starting to pull tension here? So instead of just forcing it, I can lay this down. All right, and we go back. Do it again. And this is already shrunk, so I just gotta push it back down. Okay, these big ones, you want to take them down little by little. So I'm not rushing. If you see a sharp line, you don't want to push. Let the heat is doing the work. Your hand is just going in to lay it down. And see how my heat is moving? I don't let it sit in one section for too long because you will burn it. All right, this side is done. Okay. I always get this question all the time. What about these little squiggly lines? Just push them out. They're fine. As long as it's not a hard line, you're good. So section 1 and 2 are done. Now we got to do section 3 and 4. And show you how it looks with the card. I don't like to use the card because a lot of stuff can happen. Okay, so here I'm kind of messing up because some water from the top got into the pattern. So I got to be careful. Just going to be a little bit more gentle. I don't want to have too much water in the pattern. So here, the card, you have to be a little bit more aggressive. Okay, so I'm going to shrink this whole finger down. See how the big finger's gone? I can go in and push it out. Some people prefer this card method. I don't, but I'm using it just to show you guys what it would look like. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to pre-shrink an entire area at once. So for example, this big finger, and also pull in the direction of the finger. But I always start at the bottom and I work my way to the top. Bottom. Think of it like a pizza. It's just like you're pre-shrinking a pizza. You're like preheating the oven and then you gotta go back and like touch it up again. Or put the pizza in the oven. So now we're good, we preheated it. Now I'm gonna come back, same exact thing. But now all these fingers are already shrunk, I'm just laying them down. And of course guys, it's gonna take you a lot of practice to understand how to read the film. Alright, so now I'm just going to finish that top edge. I'll try to make sure this is as clean as possible because this is what you kind of see since we have that line. So like I'm going to clean up that side. I'm not done, so I'm going to leave this here. So I want to make this look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. And when I first started, guys, I did not have a steady hand. You learn to have a steady hand over time. Now, if my plotter would have had this pattern, I would have saved about 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe. Okay, so now I gotta clean the inside of the window. So let's lay down some stuff. We got these two things, and as I mentioned in other videos, this guy. Now ideally, I probably should have started with the windshield because you kind of want it to sit for a long time before the car leaves. Okay, so in. Gotta really tuck that in there. Saber. I lay down one. And one is usually fine, guys. But this one's nice because it holds weight on it. It has these weights. All right, now let's prep the window. Now, I don't have the right slip solution right now. I wanted to order some. Fusion Tools has a good product, so we're gonna be using soap and alcohol. So I just mixed them together. So let's clean the window real quick. Get a bulldozer. Once I've scrubby patted the whole window, guys, then I'm going to spray. Just from the top down. Okay, I'll clean the bottom. Now let me clean the top edge. And just try to be conscious of what you're wetting. Now, I like this solution because it doesn't have a lot of soap in it, too much soap, but let me make a new one. I'll be right back. All right, so we're gonna add some slip, like 2 seconds, some alcohol, not too much, and let's go get our film. Here you wanna be careful not to damage the film. I'm gonna flick it. Always wet it first, just so it slides a little bit better. And we're going to spray. And just careful not to get too much overspray. You want to kind of do this step fairly quickly because you have the film exposed. So I did put quite a bit of alcohol, so I got to be kind of quick with this because the alcohol will dry the film out. Grab it. If I want to start the install from that side this way, then I gotta grab the film here. I like to start with my right hand on the right side. Okay guys, so we're gonna spray. Not too much, just enough. All right, make sure it's even. You want to have the film a little bit tighter, but I have a little bit looser right now. Okay, I like to let it go like a couple feet, 2 feet, and just line it up comfortably. All right, and then I'm gonna let it hang a little bit. And as I'm kind of holding it with this other hand, laying it down. Okay, now we're gonna line up all the edges. All right, now most importantly is these middle ones. If the middle ones are where we had originally cut them, then this should be accurate. Okay, so we're in. Now, get a mist. Get the big fingers out, kind of spray them and move them around. All right, now let's start from the middle. Doesn't really matter what direction or side you choose, as long as you're squeezing out from the sides. Not pushing too hard, I'm just tacking this down. Okay, there are 4 specks right there I need to get rid of. Looks like there was an old sticker. Anytime you lift the film up, guys, you gotta make sure that you get it perfectly wet again to lay it back down. I was able to save that, but you have to be quick, especially because I'm using alcohol. It's gonna dry out on me. Those fingers that come at you, it's just pressure. Okay, let me get this side one more time. Always double check, overlap. This time, try to go in a different direction. So if you went sideways, now go up. Okay, now the bottom. Okay, now we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. For example, see this finger popping up, push it back in the direction it's telling you where it wants to go. Ooh, okay, we have an issue. There's a big sticker, people and their stickers, man. There's a sticker right here, so let me pull this down. Let me get it before it dries out. Still on the window. So the step I did not do is I should have ran my hand across the whole glass to see if I felt anything, but it looks so clean that I didn't think I had to, but there you go. These 4 little specks still there. Gotta go in fish form. Yeah. Okay, so there's 4 left. So my scraper. It's like surgery here, guys. Those little tiny specks you can't even see are causing the issue. So but if you're doing everything right, you can save it. Some are harder than others. Finding it, getting a hair out is very difficult. You gotta catch them early. The main thing here, guys, is that you're just breaking it into sections. Windshields are tricky because your customer is sitting here, so they can see everything. So you got to make sure it's presentable. That's why we don't recommend windshields at first until you are very good at what you're doing. So even at a high level, it's a pain in the ass sometimes. Okay, now we're done. So I'm gonna throw this over here. I'm gonna take my tools out. Thank you. Jose's helping me out right now. I don't usually have someone just there for my tools. Okay, so I'm gonna run over everything. Sometimes there's moisture trapped in the top. I'm just gonna double check. Like, got some minimal stuff here that, you know, it's not a big deal because like the mirror's here and it's covering it. This customer for some reason decided to have a bunch of stickers on his window, so I can kind of get them out with my nail. So that's what I'm gonna do. Just gonna push them out with my nail. And we don't scrape the windshields. That's something else we tell customers too. Like, we don't scrape them because a lot of windshields now are laminated, and they have really sensitive windshields, so it could scratch. And there you go, $300 mistake. So you got to be really gentle with cars, guys. Now let's get this guy out. Okay, so now we got to fish and get this out. It's better that you have to fight this a little bit and get it out than not using these and damaging electrical, doing an electrical issue or damage to the car, and now you could be thousands of dollars. And I'll show you how much water. It's really wet. It's hard to tell, but watch. All this could get into the electrical. So that right there, like a couple drops could easily get the BCM wet, and now you have to replace the BCM. Okay, so let's go in there again. Some glass cleaner. So that's why we charge, guys, minimum $100 for our basic product, and it goes up to $175 for our ceramic. Some people charge more, but in our market, I feel like that's pretty fair. I could charge more, but we're trying to get the whole bundle deal. Okay, now we do the other side. And that's why we also have them sign that form, guys, because no matter what, even a good install like this, someone could complain. So having that form filled out properly, so they know that not every install is going to be 100% perfect, that helps save a lot of expectations. All right, guys, so that's it. That's how to do a windshield. All right, and we'll freeze some of these videos to show you guys the steps and make a shorter version of it, but that's how to do a windshield. So right there, you can make $100. Okay? All right, guys, see you in the next video.